it's Chef and Builder Janie Pendleton, and we're back in the kitchen. And today we're making an old Amish family recipe that's from my mother's side of the family. You know, her side of the family was Amish. And yes, I should probably be making this in my little white cap and my little blue gown, but I'm not going to because I'm not Amish. That would be my mother. But this is called Yumm, and that's spelled Y-U-M-A-S-E-T-T-A. Yumm. Okay? I'm sure they probably say it a little more Germany than I do. Yumm. There you go. How did I do? Yumm. So anyway, it's a hamburger, egg noodle, and onion dish that's got a little tomato sauce in it. You're really going to like this. That'll be the cheese. Really makes this pop. So come on, and I'm going to show you my version of it. Because of course, I'm Chef Janie. I got to change it up a little. Come on, let's get started. All right, so the first thing we did is we took about 6 to 8 quarts of water. We put a little salt in here. We just took a little bit of our spray. We sprayed that in there so the egg noodles don't stick together. And we're going to cook the egg. Once we bring this up to a boil, we are going to cook our medium-sized egg noodles. You can use any size you like. I like the mediums for this. See if we can show you the size here a little better. See that right there? That's the size of the noodle we're talking about right there. So now here we have my home canned ground beef. If you don't have this, a lot of people probably don't, but you should. If you're prepping and preparing for your family, you should have several of these put away. But this is, you can go on my site here, right there, and you can click that link and I'll teach you how to can up your own hamburger. But I'm just going to pop the lid on this, cut off some of the grease that came to the top there, and I'm going to fry this up, get this hot. And I mean, you don't even have to do that. You can skip this step. I'm just going to pour this in the pan, get it hot. And then we've got our greased casserole dish, which we just, there you go, that's it. We're going to take an onion, a red onion, and use white onion, whatever you like. We're going to take about 1/4 to 1/2 of an onion, and we're just going to chop it really well. And then over here in our sauce pot, we have, the only cream of chicken soup that I had was this large, I think it's like what, 28 ounce can of chicken soup. This thing was huge. But you only need 1 regular can size of chicken soup. So I only used half this. So I'll save that and put that in another container. You never really want to store food in the refrigerator. Even if it's got the white lining, you never want to store that in the refrigerator in the can. Get it out of the can, especially tomato juice or tomato sauce. So, you know, anything with tomatoes in it that's full of acidity. So here we're only using half, a little over half, maybe 3/4 of a 29 ounce can of tomato sauce. We didn't even use all of that. Now, if you want to make a really big casserole, you can just double this and use all of that. That's fine. We've also added a tablespoon of my garlic confit oil. Go right here, right there, and click that link. And I'll teach you how to make your own garlic confit oil. If not, just add a little bit of garlic, a little bit of chopped garlic, and a little bit of olive oil. A couple of sprinklings of poultry seasoning mix. Here I've got a little bit of celery salt. A couple of dashes of ground cloves. A little bit of Italian seasonings. Some pepper. Some ground salt. You know, spice it up however you like it. You can add a little heat to this and add a little bit of cracked pepper, red pepper flakes to this if you like. And then we're just going to put it all in here together and we're just going to give this a stir. Then we're going to taste it and see how we like it. But this is our sauce right here. And that's it. That's our sauce. Heat it up in the pan. Cook our egg noodles until pre-al dente. So instead of cooking the 7 to 9 minutes, we're only going to cook about 5. They'll finish cooking in the casserole in the oven. Okay, so I'm going to go chop my onion and heat up my ground beef. If not, then take about 1.25 pound to 1.25 1.5 pounds, and that's equivalent to this 1.5 pint of browned ground beef. Okay, so you can brown it, but this right here sure saves you time. Canning it before and putting the work into the canning sure saves you time when you know you're not going to have any time later. That's all I can say about that. So, and that's it. That's it for the ingredients, and we'll see you back here in just a few minutes. Okay, and our sauce is starting to get kind of bubbly here. So we're going to add to this about 2 or 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. Yep, you heard me. 2 or 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. Okay. I'm just going to stop at 2 here. Just going to give this a taste. Make sure you blend it really well and kind of get it kind of bubbly before you taste it. Remember, good chef always has a couple of tasting spoons. So I'm just going to give that a taste test. I think it needs just a little bit more. Go ahead, I'm going to add just a little bit more to that, another tablespoon of that. Because those weren't true tablespoons, but here we go. Let's give that another try. There we go, that's perfect. That's exactly what it needed. Okay, our water is really boiling here. But that'd be fine. So remember, 5 minutes on this. We've got a little bit of that cooking spray in there. So we kind of want to coat this up with the cooking spray. Sorry, I use the back side of my spoon. Do you use that? Do you ever use the bottom side of your spoon? I do. That way I can use it for 2 different things. I go like this. It's just my bad habit, but don't you pick it up. Okay, we just sliced our onions into our hamburger, and we've cooked that up until the onions are nice and tender. They'll finish cooking in the casserole as well. And all the grease is already out of this because I scraped that off the top. That's just a little bit of water, and we'll just keep that in there. That'll be good with the sauce. We're bringing this back up to a boil, and we're going to time this for 5 minutes. 5 to 6 minutes is plenty for this. Like I said, it's going to go into the oven, so it's going to finish cooking in the oven. Now how we assemble this is kind of strange. We are not mixing the sauce and the hamburger together. We are actually going to put in the hamburger in the bottom of the pan. And you can double, triple, quadruple this recipe. You can even freeze this recipe. That's what's nice about this. You can freeze this recipe. You just want to, just like lasagna, you want to take it all the way up to the bake stage, and then you want to let this sit in the refrigerator after it cools for about 6 to 8 hours, and then you want to wrap this in plastic or even in serving size containers, and then put it in the freezer from there after you wrap it with foil, or again in freezer size containers or serving size containers. Okay, so here we're just spreading out the beef, and this is just my husband and I tonight, so I didn't make anything too big. Alright, now on top of the hamburger, we're going to take some sliced cheese slices. Now, it calls for sliced Velveeta when I was growing up, but this is just the pre-sliced Kraft cheese, which is the same thing, basically. I know, maybe not quite the same thing, but I like Kraft. You can use whatever you like. Or you can just use the block of Velveeta cheese like the recipe called for, which my mother used to make it for us. And I can probably get another one on there. Now, if you like, you can even layer this with a little bit of bacon. Don't you hate it? Oh no, it's going to be one of those that, oh, it didn't. I thought it was going to be one of those that tore it in half. Okay. Okay, so on top of the hamburger, that we left the sauce off though, on top of the hamburger, we spread that out, we put on the cheese, and you can start layering it from there, but I actually like a little bit of mozzarella cheese on top of that, and I had just a little bit of mozzarella cheese left, so it's a good time to clean out your refrigerator. You can put some strips of bacon on this, some cooked bacon. That's really good. And here I'm just putting on a little bit of the Italian style cheese, just a little bit. I like my things cheesy. You can omit this step if you like, but you could at least put on the Velveeta cheese. But I just like this. This right here is a mix of mozzarella, provolone, romano, asego, and parmigiano. Okay. Now, our noodles have only been cooked for 5 minutes. That was perfect. And I'm going to take the noodles here so you can see this. Come back. I'm going to take the noodles here and I'm going to put them into our sauce. There we go. Perfect. Ooh, we got to get them all. There we go. I'm just going to kind of blend that in there together. Let me put this over here so you can see it a little better. We're just going to fold this into our sauce, just like this. Tomato, chicken sauce, and the spices. Oh, this smells so good. Be sure to add the brown sugar to it. That's really important. My mother used to actually add the brown sugar to the ground beef. Here we go. I'm just going to get that nice and blended. We want to blend this really well because this is actually a top layer here. So I said, this goes together kind of weird. You'd think that the sauce would actually go in the hamburger and you just kind of blend it all together like hamburger helper, but that is not the case on this. This is not the case for Yumm Setta. Like I said, this is an Amish born recipe. I do know that. Where they got it, I have no idea, but I call it Amish born because that's the roots of it that I know of. All right. So what we're going to do here now is we're going to pour this right over the top. And you can do this, you can kind of change this up. You can use just a little bit of you can even use a can of tomato soup instead of tomato sauce. But I particularly like the flavor of my own ingredients in here. And it's a chicken soup. You can see it has a chicken soup look and color to it. Now this right here just goes right over the top like this. Kind of smash down there. You're melting all that cheese in there now. Okay. Got that dirty. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to put just a little bit of a sprinkling of cheese right over the top, just a little bit. Again, this is just my version. Now what we're going to do is at this stage you can cool this and you can put this in the freezer. Okay, put it in the refrigerator for about 6 hours and put it in the freezer. Cover it with plastic wrap and some foil. And you've got an awesome dinner to thaw out in the morning that you can come home to, pull this out of the refrigerator, or it takes about 4 or 5 hours to thaw this out of the refrigerator. And if you do individual servings, you can just thaw it out for about an hour, half hour to an hour, and then you can pop it in the microwave. You know, if you do the little servings. But you can kind of see the layers here, about tipping it out of there. Now we're just going to cover this with foil. Because the noodles are on top and we don't want them to dry out, we're going to just kind of cover this with foil, not too tight. But I've got a convection oven and I don't want that fan to blow this off of there. So I'm going to kind of pinch it down there anyway. Yes, Lexi smells it. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in a 355-degree oven for 45 minutes. And we'll be right back. Oh, Lexi. Oh, Lexi, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. Okay, 45 minutes. I've got my temperature set 365 degrees because I'm on convection oven. You can go up to 375 if you want to cook it really fast, but and we're going to set this for, like I said, about 40 to 45 minutes ought to do it. And we'll be back and go from there.